Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Diva Diaries. I am your host, Sojo Bolt, aka Josie, aka Lady Jojo, aka Coco Montego. Whatever you want to call me, hey, you's fine too. Alright, I am here with a lovely young lady who has actually been around for quite some time. Toiling away. For a couple minutes. You've been here. But only just recently has really bum rushed the wrestling scene in a very, very interesting way. And so I'm really excited to be able to sit here with Candice LeRae.
Oh, yay.
That heat for the crowd.
I know.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing this interview.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I don't get to do these, so.
Well, you know what? I think you have a very interesting story. I say that pretty much to everybody. I think you have an interesting story.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
This is not a common thing.
No.
So I think we all do.
Yeah. And that's what makes wrestling great is we all come from all these different places, but we can come together, meet in the ring, get it done. And then, you know, it's just adding another stitch to the really incredible and interesting world of wrestling. Especially women's wrestling, because that's what I'm really into.
Yeah.
Because you're a woman. Let's start at the very beginning, because I love knowing where people come from and their backgrounds, like their childhood. And could your childhood have ever predicted that you would have been a pro wrestler? So, where are you originally from?
I know, okay, we'll get into that. But I'm originally from Riverside, California, born and raised. I actually, most of my life lived in the exact same house that my mom lived in when she was a kid. So,
That's cool.
well, Riverside, California.
Yay. Yay. Okay, so you're living in the house, traditional family?
Both my parents still married. They've been married, 31 years.
That's awesome.
And I have two brothers, an older one and a younger one, so I'm the middle child.
Oh, do you have middle child syndrome?
I have only daughter syndrome.
Daughter syndrome. I
So,
like that.
It's weird. I can get anything I want from my dad, but it's like a very interesting relationship my dad and I have.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, most daughters have that interesting relationship with their father. I wasn't the daddy's girl. I'm my mom's twin. So my dad can't tell me anything. Everything goes through my mom.
see, that's the thing though, is that I can get anything I want from my dad, but it's like, I don't want to ask him because my mom's like really cool and she'll let me do whatever. Like my mom's the person like, hey mom, I want to go to this concert. I know dad's going to say no. Help me out. And she helps me out.
Yeah.
But my dad, if I'm like, hey dad, this is the car I want, then he's like, well, I don't know. And it's like, well, please, daddy, I'm your only daughter. And it's like, okay, yeah. So
Promise not to get pregnant.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm almost made it to 30 without that, so we're doing well.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not that I don't like kids.
Nobody said that.
I don't like kids.
That would pretty much interrupt your career right now. So.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Special.
Oh, yeah. Delivery.
Special delivery.
Especially delivery for Miss LeRae.
Is it coffee?
It's coffee and it's.
Did you ice it for me?
Iced black coffee.
Iced black coffee. That's an interesting drink.
Okay. Because
Exit now.
you can exit.
Your
Thank
tip.
you. Thank
Tip.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I like my coffee black, and when it's iced, I can drink it faster.
Of course. Awesome. My boyfriend likes his coffee black, and he always says, I like my coffee like I like my women, black and strong. It's like, oh,
See, that's
I
a lot
love
better
you.
because I say I like my coffee like I like my men, black and hung. So,
Wow.
this is a real thing.
They're all for you, girl. Get
Nobody go research my boyfriend because he's not black.
those.
But anyway, moving on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, back to your childhood. You're a daddy's girl, growing up in California. You have two brothers.
Two brothers.
One older, one younger. Were you an athletic kid? Did you do a lot of
Yes.
sports?
The thing about being the only girl, growing up with two brothers, and having a ton of boy cousins means that if you want to play, you have to play the boy games.
Yeah.
Because apparently little boys don't like to play Barbies and they don't want to get their hair done.
Yeah.
Or so, which ended up kind of stunting my growth as a girl because I didn't learn how to do makeup, I didn't learn how to do hair, and I was very much so a tomboy. my dad played baseball when he was younger, and so my brothers were learning how to play baseball, and I wanted to play too. And my dad told me that I couldn't play. This is what I mean about the weird relationship with my dad. My dad said I couldn't play because I was a girl.
Oh, Dad, that's disappointing.
I know.
That's very
But I
disappointing.
think he was worried that I was going to get hurt because he underestimated how tough I could be, which is weird because his sister is also a very strong woman. So my aunt, she's very strong. My aunt is like the type that would beat other little boys up if they picked on her brothers. So I don't know why he was so worried that I would turn out any different. I know. But, and then it was even worse for him when I told him I wanted to be a catcher. Because to my dad, if you wanted to be a catcher, that meant having a bunch of like baseballs thrown at you. And the way he was brought up, the guys that learned how to be catchers would have to put their arms behind their back and block the pitches with just like their chest and their body.
Gotcha.
So he didn't want to train me in that way, but it was like, I don't know how else to teach her to be a good catcher other than to do this.
Oh,
and
wow.
so it was like torturous for him.
Yeah.
But my little brother and I played Little League together. So we had like a brother-sister option. And then when we would see coaches like later years, they would ask, they'd ask him, they go, oh, how's your family? How's your sister? And they'd ask him if I was still better than him. And I was like, that's just insult. But I was raised in an environment that if I wanted to play the boys' games, I had to work just as hard, if not harder, than all the boys. And it was just something that I was like drilled in my brain. I have to be. And I hated people going, like if my cousins were playing baseball and they'd start picking teams, I'd hate so much when my cousins would go, I don't want her on our team because she's a girl. So I'm already, as a child, very anti, like, oh, but you're a
Sex
girl.
discrimination.
Yeah.
You know? Come on
So,
now.
equal rights.
Right. You're going to want me on your team one day.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
You're too busy.
I'm too busy today.
Being a girl. So you were raised around sports. You're super active in high school. Junior high school. Did you stay in baseball?
I didn't. I actually went a very different route. So younger life, it was all about sports and playing, all that stuff. But that's like more from my dad's side of the family, a very competitive side of the family. My mom is the more artistic side of my family. And I started playing flute in 5th grade.
Awesome.
And then played through middle school and on into high school. I was a marching band geek.
Fantastic.
I marched flute and piccolo and then did drumline as well and marched bass drum.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm sure that took up a good chunk of your time, though, because there's a lot of practice.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And I mean, marching, configurations,
Oh, yeah.
while still playing.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I could have never.
When I was getting ready to go into marching band, I almost got too scared to do it because I was going, how am I supposed to remember all these things at this same time? It seems just like overwhelming. How am I ever going to remember where I need to be, how many steps it needs to be, when to stop, when to go, like what I'm playing?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Blew my mind.
That's awesome. Good for you. I played the flute, I
Did
want to
you?
say, in 4th or 5th grade as
Yeah.
well. It was okay. I was just like, wind instrument, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I went from the flute to the trumpet,
Ah.
and which I like because it was louder.
Yeah.
But I played the violin and then the
Oh.
viola. I really liked that though, because I didn't
Yeah.
know any other black kids that played the violin.
Yeah.
Like, it was something completely different. Nobody
Yeah.
really understood, and I would just do little concerts in my house. I would make invitations, and I'd bring to my parents. I'm like, I'm inviting you to a concert in the kitchen.
Oh.
And
I love this. I love that. I would be stoked.
so when I say, like, was there any idea that you would actually, become a wrestler? Because there's those little telltale signs that you're actually a performer, and like that would have been one of many
I used
for me.
to put on shows
Yeah.
for my parents all the time, just absurd things.
Yeah.
Like I would dress my little brother up in dresses, force him against his will to do all these different productions that I would come up with, and I wasn't a dramatic kid, and like I was very shy growing up. I'm still pretty shy to this day, but growing up, I would have never guessed that I could ever do anything in front of people. Because, I mean, in front of my parents and my family, yeah, but if there was a big crowd, it was like, oh no, I don't know about that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about that. But yeah, I was very much so interested in performing,
Gotcha.
other than being shy.
Did you do any theater or anything else creative?
My little brother and I took some acting classes and like had agents for a little while. Actually,
is that everybody in California has that?
It's not an everybody thing. I think you have to kind of actually want to do it, which it got me more comfortable being on stage and performing in front of other people, which I came to find is harder to perform in front of peers than just random whoever's.
Strangers.
So much harder.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, they're judging me, and they go to school with me all the time, and like, yeah, so.
They're not gonna believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So you were doing a little bit of acting. Did you get parts? Did you guys?
I was not, how do I put this? I was kind of bored in school, like with certain subjects, so I kind of stopped trying after a while, because I would just give whatever, if it was a subject I was not interested, math, science, I would just kind of be like, I'm checked out. But, so my grades were not great, and you had to have a certain grade average to keep a work permit. So I went on auditions, but then they were like, okay, well, your grades aren't good enough, so you have to come back again and try later. My little brother did a little bit better than I did, but then he got tired of it, because then we started wrestling. He started wrestling with me, and like we started wrestling towards the tail end of acting, and I was like, well, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm getting to do this now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And we're gonna segue right into wrestling there. So, like a lot of people our age, we grew up watching wrestling. Did you watch wrestling growing up?
I remember the first time I saw wrestling.
Please tell.
I was at my cousin's, or like at my uncle and aunt's, and we were having a family party. I was in my cousin's room, and he was older than a decent amount older than all of us. So I think he was probably like a teenager at this time, and I was 6, and I was in his room, and that's where, because all the boys were in there playing, and his room was a little scary for me as a kid because he had like Pinhead posters up in his room, and like he was into all of that stuff. And I finally like got the courage to go in there and play with them, and I looked up at the TV and I saw Hulk Hogan, and I was like, oh, what are you guys watching? And I was done. I was like, wait, no, guys, what is this? I need to know what we're watching right now. And ever since then, like all my cousins, we've been very I think we went to an independent wrestling show when I was younger at a place in California. I can't remember what it was called, but it was torn down since. And I want to say I might have been like 9 or 10. And my family, we all went to see this independent wrestling. They almost didn't let me go because I was a girl, and they were like, she won't want to go. But mind you, by this point, I'm sitting here like, my grandpa is like the greatest grandpa ever, and he had a black box. So this is pirates. Yeah, he's a pirate. My grandpa like that piracy. Not okay, but he would record the pay-per-views for us, and then so like Monday would come, and my brothers and I would get super excited because he and my dad worked together, and we'd get really excited when Monday would come because like Grandpa recorded the pay-per-view and he took it to work, and we're gonna get to watch it. and we grew up, like playing on mattresses on the floor and just all about it. And my parents weren't the parents to be like, oh, that stuff's fake, that stuff's stupid, why are you watching it? They're like, well, they like it, so let them like it. Yeah. And I was the biggest Macho Man Randy Savage fan when I was little.
I just watched his DVD.
Did you?
It's really good.
My brother texted me, and he's like, did you know that this is out? And I had no idea. And I was going, oh my gosh. So I'm going to just not get it and hope somebody thinks to get it for me for Christmas. So my brothers they might do it. I have a good feeling they're going to do it.
Okay.
So
I was saying, find you a copy somewhere.
Yeah. You're like,
that's not a problem. I mean, you could probably borrow mine if you wanted to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's really good, though. I recommend it. It's really, really good. But, so here you are. Your family is completely supportive, immersing you in this wrestling thing and then letting you guys play wrestle. They took you to an actual independent show. I wish I had known about independent wrestling as a child. I had no idea.
There was a bunch of like guys that at the time were like ex-WWE guys at the time, and so I mean Honky Tonk Man was on the show and like Warlord, and so it was like it was this really like random just indie show, but my cousins and I all knew the names, so we were all excited, and it was just in the big arena that they had, not like a super big one, but like a one that they would commonly run indie shows at, I guess. I later learned in life. So it's like, that's kind of, it's crazy now. It's crazy for me now to think that,
I wish my parents had taken me to indie wrestling as a child. I mean, I wish I got into wrestling sooner.
I never got to go to like WWE shows though. Like not until I was, I want to say 18. I didn't get to go to an actual like,
Well, it's sometimes it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Because you want to sit up front.
Yeah.
But they're fun too. I've actually been to a lot of WWE events.
Yeah.
And I still get caught up in it. Like, woo, oh, she's a bitch. Oh, wow. I don't know that for sure. I don't know for sure, but I assume.
That's
just her persona. That's her persona.
Probably, maybe.
I get hurt. Because, you get kind of swept up in what everybody else is feeling. And I don't know, like my mom didn't like wrestling at all. She thought it was awful. Thought it was awful. So when I decided I was going to become a wrestler, and she's like, no, you cry when you stub your toe.
My dad's like that. He was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was all, I want to be a wrestler, it was like, no.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a wrestler?
When I was 6.
Oh, awesome.
Like, I knew. I was like, this is what I wanted. And it was because, it wasn't even from the first time I saw it. It was when I started to become a Macho Man fan. Because there was just something about him that was just like, I want to be this man. But a girl, obviously. But I was like, I want to be him. Like, he had just this something special that I was so drawn to. And, like, nothing in my life up till that point affected me like that.
Yeah.
And I would remember everything with like Jake the Snake and the snake biting him, and it was like I was like devastated, and I'm like telling my dad, and my dad who, like he wasn't the most, he wasn't, I think if he knew at the time I wanted to be a wrestler, he'd probably be like, okay, we need to back off with supporting this. But I think there was something about it in the newspaper, and he brought the newspaper and he was asking us about it, and we're like, oh yeah, this happened. I mean, like there's just so much about him and Miss Elizabeth that I was just like, I have to do this. Like, I need to do this. And then I think Shawn Michaels was the one that made me go, I'm going to do, like, I can do this. And I actually met him and I told him this. Because it was just bizarre to me, because I met him under very good circumstances. Because it was at a training, and one of my friends, her dad was reffing at the time, and they brought Shawn Michaels to the class. And I wrestled with my friend's dad. I wrestled her, so the girl, the daughter of the referee. I wrestled her in like a practice match because I think she wanted him to critique her and give her some advice. So I wrestled her, and I mean, this is years ago, and I done the octopus stretch, which I learned how to do, and it was just like something I did, and so I didn't ever think too much of it. And it was really intimidating because, we did the match, everybody applauded, and then it got quiet. And he was like, I saw him whispering, and I'm like freaking out because this is one of my childhood heroes. I don't like this at all. Yeah, I'm like, this is a lot for me to take in right now. And he walked up to the ring and heard my friend's dad. He goes, Shawn wants to know how you did that submission. And it blew my mind. I was like, the octopus stretch, and he was like, yeah, darling, can you show me how you did that again? And I was sitting here going, yeah, I was like, I just went into it like this, and I showed him, and then I was like, or he's like, how do you usually get into it? I was like, well, because my friend was a little smaller, I was like, well, I usually do it like from the head scissors into it, but I can do it like this. I showed him all these different ways to go into it, and then after class, he blatantly was telling everybody, like, I'm going to steal that from her. Like, I'm going to do that. Like, but I'm sitting here going, yeah, I stole that from, like, Chris Jericho, who I'm sure stole it from somebody else. So, like,
you might want to ask him.
Yeah, I'm like, but I mean, Chris Jericho wasn't doing it, like, at the time, so whatever. Yeah. And he even had her dad call me one day at home to ask me for instructions on how to do it. But when I had met him in that first, like just that day, I told my friend, I was like, I really want to tell him what he meant to me. Like, that, because, he's sitting here going, I want to take this, I want to do that submission you just did. And I'm sitting here going, you're the, like, part of the reason I'm even here. Like, I was telling her, I want to tell him, and she goes, just tell him, he'd probably really appreciate it. And I'm like, I can't do that. It's Shawn Michaels. Like, I can't do that. And she takes me over to him, and she told me that she's never in her life, and because I'm a very tough person, and, like, I'm one of those people that, like, if I'm sad, I'm going to cry to myself in my bed, like, but everybody else is going to see me happy as can be 24/7. And she was like, I think that's the first time I've ever seen you get choked up. Because I went up to him and I was like, I really appreciate what you said in there. And I was like, I just want you to know that you're a lot of the reason why I'm even doing this and why I'm here right now. Because, like, you were so inspiring to me when I was growing up and made me think, like, because, the boyhood dream. And I'm going, that I can do this too. So.
You're a girl.
I am. Yeah. I never, anytime people were like, oh, you should really, like, start watching the women, I'm like, but I can be better than the men. So, like, why watch the women when I can be better than the men?
So did you watch the women's wrestling
I did. I liked when I was growing up, it was rare for there to be women's matches. And so when there would be a women's match, I'd get excited, or even when they would kind of throw in a mixed tag. Yeah. Oh, I was like pumped. I was all about it. I loved it. But then there was a while where the women's wrestling was more like of a joke to me. I was more insulted by some of it, and I was going, they're not wrestling. I respect the women and, for doing what they did, because I think every woman that has ever been in WWF, WWE, they all have done something to get us to where we are now, one way or another. And so even if I didn't love their wrestling, they still made an impact on me. So,
wow. I like that. So you decided you want to be a wrestler when you're 6. Obviously, you're 6 years old. You can't make those kind of decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
No. But you were in high school, and you're still thinking about it. You still want to do it.
And I asked my dad, and I said, Dad, because I actually went to an indie show my freshman year of high school, because my brother had met somebody at school that he was in band with, because he's in marching band too, and the guy was training to become a professional wrestler, and he was like, oh, I'm going to this school, and introduced us to the school, and then said, you guys should come to the shows. They're a lot of fun. So we started going to indie shows. And these particular ones were run by the name of Bill Anderson, and it was right after he and Jesse Hernandez split ways.
Oh, okay.
And he had B-Boy. So in my freshman year of high school, I was watching B-Boy wrestle.
Wow.
I was watching Frankie Kazarian wrestle. And Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero. So I'm watching all of these guys, like, they're just starting out. And I'm like, this is the craziest thing ever to me. Like, oh my gosh, so there are other people that want to be wrestlers. And so I asked my dad, I'm like, hey, because you got to sign the release form. I was like, hey, Dad, I want to do this. He said no. So then I had to wait.
Yeah.
And wait. And then finally, this is a story I don't usually tell. But
it's an exclusive, guys.
This is.
Yes.
My brother and his friend, was like, I want to start running my own promotion. And so my brother was like, oh, me too. So they went in together and they bought a ring. And they started bringing some of the people that were training at that place, at Bill Anderson's, to come over and kind of like help teach us, which ended up working out great because my dad was okay with that because he could oversee it.
Oh.
So when I was about 17 and a half, almost 18, I started training. And I and since it was at my house, I was doing it like every day. Like I was any chance that I would do my homework as fast as I could, so I could just like go and be in the ring as much as I could.
What a dream come true.
I know, but then I worried about the issue of people referring to us as like backyarders, and we weren't doing like the hardcore jump off of roofs and do this. We were doing a lot of training and learning how to wrestle, and people were coming in and teaching us. And I mean, we were being overseen by trained professionals, so there wasn't anybody there. I can honestly say there wasn't anybody there that didn't know what they were doing, trying to teach us how to wrestle. I mean, for the most part, everybody that even came over was very serious about it, and it was all about getting better. So when I did turn 18, I went to Jesse Hernandez, and I went to his school, and I signed my release form, and I was in the ring for like maybe 30, 40 minutes, and he was like, so do you want a match? Because I'd already had about a year under my belt training, and he was impressed enough to be like, in California, Southern California, you have to understand there's not a lot of girls. And when I started, there were like 2 or 3 of us. Yeah. So slim pickings.
Right.
And so when a girl came in and she was halfway decent, the promoters were like, yes, book her now.
On every show.
Yeah.
She's on every show.
Yeah.
So what year do you think that was? Like 2000?
Oh man, we're gonna age me right now. I am 29. So what? 2003.
2003.
2003. Yeah.
Because the only reason I ask is that's about when I started as well. 2003. Yeah. And I always talk to people about when women's wrestling there just weren't very many of us.
No.
And the few of us there were, we were all scattered. Yeah. So it was really hard to find an opponent. And if there were 2 girls in the area, man, they ran that thing to death.
Oh yeah.
They ran that
married
into
to
the
each
ground.
other.
Oh yes. I would spend a whole summer wrestling the same person.
Yeah.
Like
that's another thing I lucked out on because funny you should mention that because there were 2 girls, and then they both stopped, and I had nobody. But when I started training to wrestle, my cousin, who was 2 years younger than I am, I'd convinced her to start training with me, just as like a hobby for her. Like she started doing it. So I had somebody to work with, somebody my size, somebody that I could. I mean, she was a little bigger than me, like height wise, but and thickness and like her legs because she'd done gymnastics growing up. So she started training with me and we started wrestling. So when I needed somebody to wrestle, because I had nobody, I started telling promoters, I have a girl. And they trusted me enough at that point. They're like, okay, we'll see what she can do. So came in my cousin. And we were like married to each other for like over a year, just wrestling each other so much. And she was still in high school at the time. And she was still like somehow in marching band and keeping good grades because she was she was a lot better at school than I was, but like we tell people we share a brain, and she's like the intellectual, not that I'm dumb, but she's like the intellectual book smart and I'm like the street smarts because she's a little ditzy, and I'm like, if we were out and about, she's probably gonna get lost at some point or be a little like but she's also a lot more extroverted. I'm a little more introverted. So we balance each other out very well. Gotcha. And so doing these matches, it was to the point where we could just do anything we wanted. And we trust. It's nice to be in the ring with somebody you completely trust more than anything.
Absolutely.
So it was a blessing that I was able to convince her to do anything with me.
Yeah, you're very lucky to be able to pull on your family to help you out like that. I was going to say, so you're like basically in your first year, and there's that girl drought going on.
Yeah.
And, so we would.
You know.
I know. Used to get in the car, drive 10 hours to wrestle that one match, get back in the car, drive home. Yeah. A whole weekend would be drive to Kansas from Minnesota, then drive to Michigan.
It's crazy
and
that
then
you just said Kansas because she's in Kansas right now, and it's like the most heartbreaking thing ever to me. But
family.
Yes.
You know, you would drive so far just to get a match because that's where actually a girl was, you know? And the reason why I bring it up because there are, at this point in women's wrestling, so many girls.
So many.
So many girls.
And I think people probably think that we should be threatened and think, oh no, but it's great. It's so great.
Oh, I am not threatened.
No.
Not
but I
even
think
in the
that a
least.
lot of people, because I know that guys sometimes, when there's so many of them, they're like, oh, it's because this was always the thing. Well, it's easier for you to get booked on a show because you're a girl. There's not a lot of girls. Well, now there's more and more and more of us. But I'm sitting here going, it's not going to hurt my feelings any to not get a booking because more girls are out and about.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, that's great for us.
Yeah, that keeps everything fresh.
Yeah.
Keeps things new.
Yeah.
Keeps things interesting.
You get to wrestle. I've wrestled so many people so many women this year that I've not gotten to wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been great for me.
Yeah. And we will talk about that in just a second. But also, all these girls coming from all these different places have learned all these different styles.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You got girls who are incredibly technical, girls who fly.
Oh, yeah.
Girls who just do strong style. Girls who are super hell flexible and just I don't even think you're a real human being. I don't even know where you came from.
Where did you come from?
Weird human wrestler hybrid. You know, it's just things are so interesting, and you have these girls who take these monster bumps. You got girls who jump off the balcony. We got girls who just want to beat boys up. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I think that's variety.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's good for us because when you are wrestling that same person all the time, you're doing the same stuff all the time. And even if you're trying to do more or learn more, you can only do so much because you both have boundaries. But when you're wrestling other people and you're learning from other, it's like, well, this girl I'm wrestling this week is a high flyer. And it's like, well, how does that do with me? And like, how is this going to be against each other? And then it's like, well, this girl is, 6 feet tall and she can beat the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Now, how is this going to go? And it's like you learn so much from getting to wrestle so many different women who can do so many different things.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just amazing.
It's a good time to be a female wrestler.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah. Okay, so 2003, girl drought. You just call your family up. Hey,
Yeah.
I need you. Come on
Call
down.
me.
I got some money for you. What was the next step in progression? Like, you're already in wrestling. Did you have
It's like
goals?
you know my life because it's like going in. This is like perfect timing to go into 2005. I attended my first pro wrestling guerrilla show as a fan in the old Sweatbox, the Jewish Community Center, and I want to say I always thought it was Bola, but Joey corrects me and he tells me no, it was the anniversary show. I don't know which one of us is right, but I have a feeling he is. So, my first show, I went, and this was at a time PWG wasn't drawing, like, insane crowds. And I was just like, but the crowd was awesome. This building was so hot and so disgusting, but this building, like, also brought the best out of these fans. And these people were rowdy. It was like no other crowd that I, at this time, had wrestled in front of or even been around. They knew all the wrestlers. And my older brother, is a smart mark.
Oh.
So, fun fact about him. But, like, it's kind of nice because I can get his opinions on things and know what other people that are like him are thinking. So it's a very interesting perspective to have access to.
Sure.
But he was aware of all these people that I hadn't even heard of or seen before. So when we're going to this show, he's like talking about, like, we'd heard about Super Dragon, but didn't know a lot about him. And we'd heard about Joey Ryan, didn't know a lot about him. But my brother knew everything about, like, AJ Styles and Chris Sabin and Petey Williams. He knew about all these guys. And he's like, I'm going to tell you about these guys, and we're going to go to this show, and we're going to love it. And we knew about Frankie at the time because we'd watched him over at, like, in my freshman year of high school.
We go way back.
Yeah, me and Frankie go way back. So, like, we're at this show, and I'm like, I need to wrestle here. I need to.
Yeah.
I had, like, it was like that little kid seeing wrestling going, I need to do this.
Yeah.
So I go up to Joey after the show and I introduce myself because I was friends with one of the guys. He wrestled as Scorpio Skyler. He and I were good friends, like, since I started wrestling. And I went up to him to talk to him after the show, and he was on it. And I was just, like, I want to be on these shows. And, like, he introduces me to Joey. So comes Joey into my life. And Joey, being Joey
being Joey,
goes, yeah, kind of one of the bookers here. So, no big deal.
Yeah.
Girl who looks like she's underage. And he's not going to be offended by me saying any of this. But he would not. No. He'll tell you himself that this is what happened. So he tried to make himself look as amazing as possible. And then I tell him, I'd love to wrestle here one day. And then he goes, well, Super Dragon doesn't like women's wrestling. He does not book girls. So came my next conflict in life.
Because keeps coming up, doesn't
it? Oh yeah, this is a reoccurring thing. Yeah. So they tell me no. And I go, okay, well, I don't take no for an answer. So Joey and I became friends, like kind of, sort of, like acquaintances. And then as time went on, he had this one day where he goes, I need somebody to go pick Chris Sabin up at the airport for me. Who can I send? I know somebody who I can send. Hey, Candice, can you go pick Chris Sabin up from the airport for me? Do you mind letting him crash at your place? Okay. So, mind you, I'm still like a super PWG fan at this point, so I'm like freaking out going to pick this guy up at the airport, but Sabin's like super chill and laid back, so I lucked out. And then I started becoming a runner, and I was like, I'm going to go do airport runs for them. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, Human Tornado at the time had just split from his valet, and I went, wait a minute. So that girl left him. He needs somebody, right? Mm-hmm. So I asked Joey, I say, I have this idea. What do you think? And he's like, well, you got to ask Tornado, and then they gotta, we gotta clear it through Super Dragon. Like, Super Dragon is you ask him, nothing happens without asking him, or you're in big trouble. So I asked Human Tornado, and he was like, because we're like super close at the time, we're good buddies, and he's like, of course, like, I would love for you to do that. They talked to Super Dragon, he's like, okay. So I finally get my foot in the door. Boom. He's like, I'm all, okay, so those airport runs, those hour-and-a-half drives to LAX and circling 3 or 4 times really paid off. Woo! So, and if anybody has ever been to LAX, they know that that's a task and a half to go pick anybody up from that airport.
Yes, it is.
So, I start managing. And the boys that are there, most of them are aware that I'm a trained wrestler. So they start going, what can we do with you? Like, can we do this with you? Can we bump you like this? Are you okay with this? And then they started going, wait, she doesn't just take hits really well. She can do stuff. So they start having me do things. So I'm like, okay, maybe one day it's going to pay off. Like, one day it's going to pay off and everything's going to be great. And Super Dragon, I think he appreciated that, like, I cared so much about it. And so we started to kind of become acquaintances. And then from acquaintances became, like, Super Dragon back in the day was very big on Instant Messenger. So if you were on AIM and he was on, expect he's going to talk to you if he likes you enough. But expect he's going to talk to you because he has nothing to do today. So we started talking to each other more, and I think he started liking me more as a person. And then on top of my work ethic and me being a not crappy person, I like to think I don't completely suck at life. So after a while, I got to the point where I was like, I'm just going to start asking him. I have the courage now. I'm going to start asking him every day, if I can wrestle. And every day that I asked him, he told me no. Every day. For a long time. And I would try to throw it in as a joke. We'd be like, yeah, and then this is going to happen. So, am I going to wrestle? No? Okay. So, Ratatouille, have you seen it? No, I haven't seen it. Did you like it? He likes Ratatouille, by the way. Okay. He won't admit it publicly, but it's a real thing. He's the reason I saw Ratatouille, which is my favorite Pixar movie now. And so he's putting Ratatouille over to me. I'm like, hey, do you think maybe, I can have a match? No. Eventually it got to the point with me and Human Tornado where Human Tornado wanted to kind of take a different route. And he kind of forced everybody to put me in a position where it's like, she needs to do something. Because it was a very realistic domestic violence type relationship that we were in.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where women were leaving during his matches. And I mean, when we were at shows together, we'd avoid each other. And so people started to become very passionate about what was happening. I mean, if you saw us at PWG together, it was very like, I'm afraid of him and I don't know that I want to even be around him. And there's times with him where things would get so real, like I wouldn't know what was coming next, what he was going to do. And people would ask me at times if he was okay, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because I think he got so invested in everything that it started to become real to him. So there were times where it would get a little scary because I didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. I just had to be ready for whatever was going to happen. Right. And when that storyline got to the point where it was like, well, we could have this guy come in and help her, but then what does that do for her? And so we're on Instant Messenger one day. Super Dragon goes, hey, I'm going to give you a match. It's going to be 2. And the first match, because it was, I want to say it was an all-star weekend. So the first match is going to be Necro Butcher, you and Chris Hero versus Human Tornado, Eddie Kingston, and Claudio. So
you went from not wrestling,
to being in the ring with all these guys, right?
And there with 6 of
huge dudes, by the way. They're all massive, and I shouldn't even be in there.
You're not a big person.
And by the way, it's like a clusterfuck, so anything can happen. Yeah. So, mind you, during this match, I experienced the most bizarre thing of my life because I went running outside because everybody went outside, and I run outside to go help. I'm thinking, there's got to be something I can do. I mean, legitimate, I'm going, what can I do outside? And I see Necro Butcher throwing rocks and just picking up these rocks off the floor, like little pebbles and stones, and just chucking them. And I'm like, this is the most dangerous thing of my life. I'm going to get hit with something that I shouldn't be hit with. But I didn't know what to do, so I just started picking up rocks and throwing them too. So, it's extremely bizarre. Yeah. Like, a situation when I was 6, I would never think I was going to be outside throwing rocks in, sprinkling. Yeah, so it was... we eventually ended up back inside, and the whole angle was that if my team won, then Chris Hero was going to finally get his match with Human Tornado with no outside interference. And then if his team won, then he got the match with me with no outside interference. So I was blessed in that my first match was with somebody that I'd been working next to side by side for a long time and wanted nothing more than for me to become successful. And I think I also lucked out in that everybody was unaware of the fact that I was a completely trained professional wrestler, and I'd been wrestling indie shows in the area, and just in Arizona and Vegas and Northern California. And I don't think they were expecting much. I think they expected him to go in and beat the crap out of me, but we told a completely different story. And because who's going to know Human Tornado better than his own manager? And I'd been managing, I think at the time, for at least a year and a half. And we would travel everywhere together, so I'm going, I know all of his stuff. Right. I know everything he's going to do before he knows he's going to do it. Yeah. I know everything about this guy. So, of course, I'm going to stop when he's I'm going to counter what he normally does. You know, if he's dancing in the ring, I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to kick him. And I don't think they were expecting topes. I don't think they were expecting moonsaults. I don't think they were expecting a lot. And I gave them a lot. And I don't think Super Dragon was expecting a lot. And the worst part about it, after the match, because he was going to pee on me, and Hero came out to save me. And so they stopped the match, and I lost because of disqualification. And we get to the back. Hero had hurt his knee, genuinely hurt his knee that night. And I had to, because I was his ride, I had to run and change immediately after my match. So there wasn't, I finally got this big moment that I've been waiting for and waiting for and waiting for. And I get to the back, and Seema told me that it was very good, which was amazing. I was sitting here going, oh my gosh, you watched my match? Roderick Strong, came up to me, and he was I'm trying to change, and he's telling me what he thought about it. And ever since then, everybody in that locker room has been completely supportive of me and helpful. But I had to grab all my stuff and head out the door immediately after. So I didn't get any kind of big yes, I finally did it. I finally did it. And it was okay, we gotta go to the hospital now.
Girl, there wasn't time.
There was no time for glory because we gotta go to the hospital.
Wow.
Which was okay because what ended up happening was Super Dragon after that had a spot open up. And on a show they needed somebody. And Joey was pushing really hard for me. And they needed an extra person in the match, and it was a tag match, so they're let's put Candice in. I'm sure we can do something with her here. And then they needed somebody to wrestle this guy. Okay, let's put her here. So I started filling the gaps. But then it got to the point where it was well, who do we have her wrestle? Because there were so many guys there at the time that it was she can't keep up with this guy. We can't have her go in and wrestle that guy.
PWG is a very stacked card.
It is. It's the most intimidating, stressful place that I've ever wrestled. But it's so good because it pushes me so much. So much. There's so many people on there that I at times I'm in the back going, I shouldn't even be in here right now. I mean, it's insane to me because I was this person sitting at the front row for shows just watching and quietly clapping and I'm sitting here going, I was a fan that Christopher Daniels nudged and said, you go buy a t-shirt, and I did.
Oh, you did?
I bought it, Christopher Daniels. I bought your shirt. I was standing in line at PWG, and he said, everybody needs to buy shirts, especially you. And I went in and I bought a shirt.
My shirt.
And now I'm being put in matches against these people that I was in awe of and wanted to be just around, it's insane to me.
Right.
It's insane.
That's awesome. It's a great story, and the story hasn't ended either.
No.
Because you are kicking much ass.
I'm trying.
At PWG. We can get back to that in just a second because I want to talk about the other wrestling that you do, and then we can come back to PWG because the end of that story is kind of where we're at.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
it is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. So you're going to others. You're traveling. You're going to other places to wrestle.
Yeah.
So you go to Vegas. You're going to Arizona. I know that is it IZW or IWZ?
Something.
Impact?
Yeah. Why can't I remember either? I feel like
something like
neither
that.
one of us
Yeah,
can remember.
I know.
Yes.
It's in the desert.
It is in the desert.
It's in the desert.
It is. It's a desert.
Impact Wrestling something zone or something like that.
Maybe it's Impact Zone Wrestling.
Maybe it's Impact Zone Wrestling. Whatever. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
They had a good thing going, and they had a couple girls that they had out
they
there, and they were pretty good actually. I used to. I would go to California every so often and wrestle Morgan. Or there's a couple. I think there's a couple other girls there. But like most of us, we didn't have a lot of people to wrestle.
Yeah.
So they were stuck wrestling each other a lot of the time. Did you have any goals as far as where you wanted to go with wrestling? Obviously, you were really, really dedicated and finally got that foot in at a PWG, and man, has that paid off. Were there other places?
I mean, obviously when I was a kid, and this is what I tell people still to this day, when I was a kid, I wanted to wrestle for WWE more than anything in my life, and like that was it for me. I mean, I was one of those kids that I got picked on because I watched wrestling, and especially being a girl, like girls don't do that. And but it was all I wanted to do. I mean, I had to find other things to tell people I wanted to be, but I'm like, I want to be this when I grow up.
Be a professional flute player.
Yeah. So, I'm a marine biologist, actually.
There you go.
But that was my ultimate goal. And it's like, I feel though that smaller goals help you get to the bigger goals. So throughout my time, it's been a lot of, I want to do this, and then I have to go and do it. And it's like, okay, I want to do that. Now I have to go and do it. And that's like a lot of accomplishing goals for me has been taking a lot of people telling me no and just telling them, you can't tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very driven. I'm competitive because I grew up with a bunch of boys, so I'm competitive, but not maliciously competitive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go like take some girl out or something, but I think at this point I'm just like, I want to be good. I want to be good more than anything,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm so hard on myself still to this day. I can't watch myself wrestle.
What?
I can't do it. And people will go, oh, I saw this match. They're like, I don't know, like the Young Bucks and Joey and I had one match, and they were like, oh, have you seen it? And I'm like, I can't watch it. And they were just like, no, you have to watch it. It's like our first tag match that we had against each other. Like, you got to watch it. It's fun. It's like good. And I'm like, I can't, guys. So a lot of times when people are like, oh, so what do you do? I have no idea because I don't watch myself and I don't remember what I do. And I'm like, I throw men by their balls. Like, does that help anything?
That's kind of what I do. I kind of throw balls around.
Yeah. That's all I got, guys. After that, nothing.
Awesome. So PWG's your home.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot with them now. Like, you and Joey are so hilarious.
Thank you.
You guys are so funny. And actually, it's refreshing because I feel like a lot of wrestlers take themselves too seriously. Yeah. And you guys look like you were genuinely having a really good time.
Yeah.
And that's what people want.
It's
they
funny
want
because
to have fun.
Cherry Bomb and I were recently talking about our first conversation that we had when we met each other and we were going to wrestle. And it went something like, oh, hi, I'm Candice. Well, I like to have fun. And her response, I like to have fun too. And it's like, I feel like I take it seriously, but at the same time, like, we have to have fun because we have to remember why we're wrestling. And I'm wrestling for the 6-year-old inside of me, not for, and it's amazing because I have nieces now. So it changes everything. It changes everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have to remember, and it keeps me humble because I'm going, like, my nieces love watching me wrestle, especially my 8-year-old niece. She's, like, obsessed with wrestling right now.
Yeah.
And it was the happiest thing in the world for me to walk in her bedroom and see a little box that she had taped a white piece of paper on and wrote "Money in the Bank." It's hanging from her ceiling fan. And I went to say bye to her, and I walked in there, and like, this is hanging from her ceiling, and then on the TV she was watching PWG 11, and I'm going, this is just, I have to be a good role model.
You have to now.
I have to.
You're watching.
Like, I mean, we don't show her like the YouTube videos that Joey has, like, of us out drinking.
Yeah.
Not an alcoholic, by the way. FYI. Fun fact.
Yeah.
I just like a drink or two.
And it has to be, it gets recorded often.
Yeah. No, this is a real thing. He will, like, wait until I am drinking, and then he's like, camera up. And I'm like, this is some crap, because I don't drink like this, and now everybody thinks that I'm just, like, throwing back everything all the time.
Oh, people think that about me all the time. My boyfriend's tweeted out that I was drunk at one point or another. The Joey Candice episode that we filmed at WrestleCon,
yes.
I had so many drinks in me. When we were in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Break.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Bourbon Street for a reason,
Yeah.
people. And I had a few, and then he put the camera on me. And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, I was like,
He's so good at that.
I remember the first time we met. I was like, oh God, I'm slurring.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm a mess. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. We have so much blackmail footage of everybody.
You can't embarrass me. I'm a wrestler. Please, please. I will embarrass myself. I'll fall down on the floor right now.
Right now. I just do that walking. So
Yeah, exactly. And I get paid for
Real
it.
life
It's
bloods
good.
right
Yeah,
here.
it's real. But you guys are having such a good time,
Yeah.
and I think sometimes that's what's missing in wrestling is where's the fun?
Yeah.
Where's the fun, Dad?
That's one of the things, like, whenever people... Joey is a social media freak.
We know.
I am a very much so, like, in whatever moment I'm in kind of a person. So, Joey will see things on social media sometimes, and it'll, like, get under his skin. And we've gotten to the point as a team where I had to go, Joey, like, remember, keep in mind, whatever you say reflects on me.
Absolutely.
And I was like, so just be careful about what you're saying. I was like, because if it's something that is going to hurt me, let's not do that. And a lot of times people will say things, and it's mostly, and it's interesting because the things he gets most offended about is when people are against me and what I'm doing. And I'm just so, my whole life has been a girl trying to live in a man's world, trying to not demand I be equal just because, but demand I be equal because I deserve to be. I don't try to do anything I don't try to manipulate people. I don't try to, I want to be somewhere because I worked for it. So I'm trying to work for something. I'm not just trying to get it because it's entitled to me. And so I think that Joey, because we've known each other for so long, he gets so hurt when people are so mean to me or what I'm trying to do in wrestling. And I'm such a girl power, like woman power type figure right now. So he gets offended and then he wants to say something, and I just have to stop him and say, Joey, if they want to be negative and they want to be miserable, let them be negative and miserable, but let's just not even worry about it. Yeah. It's not worth it. I was like, to each his or her own. Let them feel like everybody has different opinions about wrestling, and I'm not going to go force mine on somebody else, so I'm not going to let them force it on me. Mm-hmm. Like, we agree to disagree with them and move on. Like, don't let them bring us down.
Yeah.
So that's how we keep our fun.
Awesome.
We level each other out.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're both kids at heart.
I feel like he needs somebody to level him out.
He does.
He's way up here all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Always on. Oh, man. He's a lot. I want to talk about the time we wrestled because it was awesome.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Because I'm segueing out of being an in-ring performer and moving back behind the scenes because I'm just old and I'm tired. But
I don't think you're either,
girl.
But
but every now and then I do take a booking that I would really be interested in doing because that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. So when it got approached to me that I would be wrestling you and Joey at WrestleCon 2014, I was like, that actually could be a really good time because they're a fun tag team, boy, girl. I'll wrestle with my boyfriend and we will do it because we kind of been tagging together a little bit and that's cool. And he's like, you should probably watch some of their stuff. Because I don't watch PWG. I'm very much into old school wrestling. Yeah. I like stuff old.
Everybody has different tastes, and that's why there's so much out there right now.
But guess what? It's okay. Y'all saw a lot of DVDs. You're doing something right. So I sat and I watched some of your stuff, and I was like, no.
Oh no!
I don't do any of that. No, I don't do any of that. No. I don't do any of that. Okay, well, we're going to figure it out. And I remember walking up to you guys at your table. It's like, hi, I'm Josie. Watch some of your stuff. Don't do any of it, so talk to Jake. Okay. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. And I was like, was that a bitch move? Nah, I was just being truthful. Yeah. I was just telling the truth.
I don't get offended very easily at all. I don't know if anybody who has seen any of what Joey and I did when we were feuding, I don't offend easily. I've had guys come up and go, can I call you, cunt, twat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't offend easy. I grew up with boys. Trust me. Right. Whatever you're going to say or do to me is not anywhere near as bad as what I've been through.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So, it just, I don't get offended when people are just like, I mean, I'm like, well, at least they're honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather somebody, I was just telling Cherry Bomb and a couple other people that I've been wrestling lately, I'm like, if you're honest with me and you say, I don't do this, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'd rather you do that than tell me, yeah, I can do it. Because you know what happens when somebody says, yeah, I can catch you. You get dropped on the floor, and it's terrible, and then you hate the world, and you don't trust anybody anymore.
And I would have caught you, girl. But why do that? Why can we just stay in the ring, and if we could just slow down just a little bit for me, because I don't move that fast.
But that's part of what makes us all better when we get to work with people we're not used to working with.
And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And the crowd ate it up.
Yeah.
Ate it up. I got such good feedback on that match.
Oh, good.
Like, seriously, people pulled aside. Like, that was so much fun. Oh, my God, you guys are so great out there. I was like, hey, I told them, I don't do that
I'm
stuff.
learning. I've actually been really, I'm like making sure he's not in here right now. Because if I tell him this, he's going to like...
And he's not going to watch this. So it's,
I've been very, very, very lucky to be able to work with Joey so much. Because some of my biggest problems in wrestling have been to stop and take a second. Like, it's always been go, 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 go. And I never get to just stop and realize what's actually happening around me. And the more that he and I are doing what we're doing, I'm starting to realize that it is something special. And people are responding in ways that, like, I could never have imagined. And so him teaching me to kind of, like, take those seconds to, like, just take it in, realize what's happening around you, and play with that.
Yeah.
It's made everything so much more fun for me. And, like I said, being in the PWG locker room, I'm around so many people that are so supportive that every time I'm doing something and I could be better, they let me know. And it's, like, so great. Yeah, and so when you're getting feedback and you're having those moments where you're taking your time and you're taking it all in, it's like, it's so great. Yeah. It's so great. And you realize that you don't always have to go, 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 go. Like, I can still, because I'm always like, well, I don't want to, like, not get to do this and not get to do that. But it's like, when you take the time, it's like, I can still do those things. But I can also do these things. And then I've been telling people lately, I feel like I'm getting to play wrestling. Like, I'm a little kid and I'm getting to play wrestling. And that's what I think it's all about in the grand scheme of things. Because if I'm feeling it, I'm believing it, everybody else is going to. Absolutely. And I think that was so much about that match, is that we were all feeling it so much. And it was like, we were having so much fun that, of course, like, everybody was having fun. It was just ridiculous amounts of fun.
Yeah, it was
a
blast. Oh, man, I just want to wrestle more now.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah, those are like special like occasions where like
that was
every so often.
special.
I will say that doing this tag team thing that Joey and I are doing, we also get put in not so exciting situations. So
really,
but it's mostly like people are like, oh, I'll book Candice and Joey and they'll wrestle these guys. But then we get there and it's like we find out the guys have only had a few matches, and it's like, oh, which is okay for Joey, but then I'm going, what can I do and not get dropped on my head? Because we've had a few close calls.
Yeah.
Not to these people. It's not that they're bad. It's not that they don't know what they're doing. They're working in a very, like, Joey, like, this angle that we're doing, this team and this it's so specific. And the people that we're wrestling a lot of times have to know and understand what we're doing to be on board with us.
Absolutely.
And that way it doesn't feel like a struggle. Yeah. Which was, like that, us wrestling, it was not a struggle because we were all on the same boat. We were like, yeah.
Oh, I wish every weekend was like that. Yeah, because, so you and Joey have this incredible chemistry. A lot of times tag teams, the people are just thrown together. Go tag together.
Yeah.
Who's left? Oh, these two.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys tag?
Yeah.
Something like
Which
that.
is a very PWG thing that happened, by the way.
But here you are, you're friends. You've known each other for so long. He's watched you progress and grow. He helped you get that foot in the door. Yeah. And now here's the opportunity to be his tag partner.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I'm sure you already knew what an awesome worker he was.
Yeah.
What a great character he was. And this is going to be a new, totally new dimension for you.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like a totally different thing. We were just saying earlier how it's weird because we feel like we've started a movement that was already there. Like, it's kind of like you have your people that this is what they do, but they're not like speaking out about it. Like people that feel a certain way, but they're not speaking out. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we kind of helped open a lot of doors for a lot of people because after what we've been doing at PWG, we've both gotten a lot more bookings. We've seen a lot more intergender tag teams out there, which is great. Mm-hmm. And we've seen a lot of women winning men's titles. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I mean, it was to the point where the Bucks were going, look what you started. Like, what did you do? And I'm like, I just think that they needed somebody, like, I think a big enough company needed to do it. Mm-hmm. And
maybe not as a fluke even, maybe really get behind it.
Yeah, because actually a lot of people thought that with Adam Cole, that was going to be, like, just this big shock. And the Bucks even were like, man, if I was booking, I would have done this just for the shock factor alone. But I feel like the tag titles meant so much more to me, like so much more, because this is like somewhere that I just dreamed about wrestling, and that day was insane. So and then everything that happened after, and seeing like some of the women that I respect winning men's titles was just great for me to see all this happening so soon after too. And I'm just like, heck yeah, like let's freaking do this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Not because we always want to be positive, but I do want to talk about your detractors a little bit. I know I love him so much. He's one of my favorite people, but some people have been very outspoken about intergender wrestling not being real, just being unbelievable. And that's why would anybody believe a woman could beat up a man, even though we know there are some women out there who whoop that ass.
I'm just saying, Ronda Rousey was at PWG, and I'm sure she could have taken at least half, if not more than half, of the locker room.
Probably. Probably. But I know it's been said to you that intergender wrestling is not a draw. People will not pay money to see it. This is going to be a fad that will die out. And it's started this crazy, awesome wave of women who are legit talented, being the face of their company.
Yeah.
And not just the face of their women's division, being the face of the company.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible.
It is.
And that's probably like the biggest honor you could ever receive is to be the face of your company.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But nobody's talking about a contract. You're the face of the company.
Yeah.
The company's resting on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And basically that's what they did. You guys became the face of PWG.
Which is insane
to
me.
It's awesome.
This is I'll try to make it a short story. But
we got time. We got all the time in the world.
And this is another thing that I have not been public about. I went to culinary school a few years ago, and I was doing it so I had something to fall back on, because at the time I wasn't getting a lot of bookings, so I said I need to do this. 2 Decembers ago, so what, 2012? Yes. 2012, I had started working. I got my first food industry job after I graduated culinary school, and I had started working at Universal Studios Hollywood in the bakery.
Yay!
Yeah, it was probably one of the most amazingly fun jobs I could ever ask for. My coworkers were all amazing. I still talk to some of them to this day, and I learned so much. I got to do amazingly cool things. I got to help cater, because I was a baker, so I worked in the bakery, and we did desserts for the park as well as any events that they were holding on the property, which meant that I got to help cater for the Walking Dead season 5, I want to say, premiere, We catered for the Fast and the Furious 6. We catered for Despicable Me 2. So I got to do a lot of really cool things working there. And while I was working there, I think December 2012, I started working there, and I worked 20 days straight. And that meant I didn't really have a lot of time for wrestling. So then but the thing about that job is that once the season is over, everything slows back down. So I was able to start wrestling again. The problem with that was that once I started wrestling again, then spring and summer would come, and business would pick back up, and I went back to working 6-7 days a week. And 12-hour shifts, so I'm working my butt off. It would get to the point where I'd put in for time off, and I'd ask my lead, I'd have to say, okay, I need to work Saturday morning, 1 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then not work Sunday until 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, on these weekends of PWG, I would wake up at 10 p.m. to get ready for work and drive an hour and a half-ish to Universal Studios, work 1 a.m. to 9, sometimes 10 or 11, drive the hour and a half back home, shower, get ready, drive back out to LA, and get to the show early, wrestle, go back in my truck again, commute back home, and I would be up for over 24 hours. The night that I wrestled Adam Cole, I had been up for, I had been up for 27 hours and on 1 hour of sleep.
Wow.
And I was and then I went back home, I went to sleep, and I would get a few hours, and I get back up, and I go to work.
Wow.
Because I wanted to be there so badly, but I loved my job, and so it was like I had this conflict of interest. So, once Joey and I started the intergender thing, it started getting harder and harder, and I'd have to start asking work for days completely off because we were traveling. So I would have to tell them, okay, I moved up in seniority, so it was easier to ask for it, but I'd have to go, okay, I'll work whatever overtime you want me to during the week. If there's any way I can get this Saturday and this Sunday off, and then I'll be back for work on Monday. I would get in, Joey and I would leave on Saturday, get to wherever we were going to do the show Saturday, do another show Sunday, fly back late at night, and then I had days where I'd be at the airport and then have to go home, take a nap, and then go to work. Or we'd have days where we would go up to Northern California. I'd get off of work, go to his place, meet up with him, drive up to Northern California, which for us is a 6-hour drive from Southern California to Northern California. Wrestle the show, turn around, drive right back that night, stay with a friend for sleep for 3 or 4 hours, wake up, and go to work.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I'm going, I don't have time to work out anymore. And then it got to the point where it's like, after our match, our guerrilla warfare match with the Young Bucks, it got insane for us. Joey's contacting me going, we need this day, this one. And I'm going, oh my gosh, work's gonna kill me. Then came August of this year, and things were very busy for us and at Universal and for me and Joey, and I went in to go put in for time off, and my lead, he and I became really good friends, and I went up to him and he goes, I'm gonna try, but I don't know if they're gonna let you have time off, especially since a month before this I had to take all of my holiday pay, all of my sick pay, and whatever I could so that Joey and I could go and do a week trip in Florida. So I'm sitting here going, man, I need at least one of these shows in August. And he's like, they're not going to let anybody take any weekend days off. They're not going to accept any days. And I was like, so I had to cancel my bookings. And I canceled my month's rent worth of bookings, and I was going, I'm going to get to a point here really soon where I'm going to have to pick. And then came my current boyfriend into my life, and came many other great things. I could say my boyfriend's name because I was sitting here going, I don't think I should. I was like, because usually you're like, just in case, but I'm very confident in this one.
It's your Diva Diaries.
I'm very
confident.
confident.
Give him a shout out.
I'm very confident in this relationship. So came Johnny Gargano into my life.
There he is.
And he's been the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. And we're like best friends, which is insane to me because I've never been able to call a boyfriend like my best friend. And the best thing he could ever do for me is he's been very supportive and he's been very inspirational for me. And it got to the point where, I was talking to him and he would wake up or he'd stay up until what would be like 2 or 3 in the morning his time to talk to me on the phone while I drove to work.
Yeah.
And then sleep while I was at work. And then would wake up and talk to me on the way home from work.
Yeah.
Like, just super there for me. I was going through a lot of just negative influence in my life at the time and just a lot of bad things happening. And he has been, like, my rock. And he's shown me, like, no, like, you can be great and you are great. Like, you just need to just do this, like, do what you want. And it got to the point where, like, I was going, well, I'm at that point in life, I have to make a big choice. And so I went to my boss at Universal, the head chef, and my friends were kind of joking. My 2 leads were like joking with him, like, "Hey, chef, what do you think of Cleveland, Ohio?" And he started burying it, and I'm sitting here going, "You guys are such assholes because you know he's gonna say this." And I'm like, "You guys know." And then he leaves, and then he comes back, and they're like, "Hey, chef, Candice has something she needs to tell you."
Awesome.
And he gives me this look. He's like, "What do you need?" He's gonna give me whatever I asked for. He's like, "How much time do you need off? What do you need?" And because I'm doing all the VIP desserts at this point. I'm catering daily for 650 people. Okay. I'm like,
you're kind of an important part of the puzzle.
Yeah. And so he's like, and it got to, when I started, they were like, "We don't know about this girl." It got to the point where I was like very valuable. And they're going, "We really need you to do this. We need you to do that. We need you here." And when I wasn't there, they're going, I swear, every time I left for wrestling trips, it was like the worst day ever. They would, my lead would be texting me and like, he's like, "It's the worst thing. This person came in and this happened and this and this." And I'm like, why does disaster happen when I leave? So I'm telling the chef, I'm like, "Hey, like, I need a lot of time off, actually." And he goes, "When are you leaving?" I was like, "Oh, like 2 weeks." And he gives me this look of fear, just like absolute terror, because 2 weeks, he knows what's coming. You know what happens when somebody tells you, "I'm going to be here for like 2 weeks." Yeah. And then he goes, "You're moving to Cleveland, Ohio?"
He's smart.
And I'm like, oh no, here it goes. And he's like, "Why?" He goes, "Okay, let me see if there's something I can do. Let me see if we can get you a leave of absence. Let me see if there's something we can do. Because you're probably not going to like it. And then if you come back, I don't want you to lose your seniority." So he had to go and talk to HR and figure out if there's anything they could do. And then they broke the news to me there's nothing they could do. And because I'm not a super dramatic person, my last day there, a lot of people didn't realize was my actual last day there. Because I had put in, the day that I wanted to put in my 2 weeks, I left for Europe like the next day. And so by the time I get back, they informed me, like, that they informed me then, like, "Oh, they couldn't do that, so you are going to have to put in your 2 weeks." But at this point, I'm like, but I'm moving in like a week, so I don't have 2 weeks now. Like, I gave you guys, I let you guys know when I needed 2 weeks. So they're like, "Oh, it's okay. Just when you need to go. If there's anything my chef was like, "If there's anything you need, just let me know." And like, super awesome. Like, one of the best bosses that I could have ever asked for, and like one of the best work experiences that I could have ever asked for. And I didn't tell a lot of people it was my actual last day. I didn't even tell chef it was my actual last day. And I just went up to everybody and I thanked him for being so like accommodating and like for everything, and just, and then I happened to go in to turn in paperwork on the day where all of the area chefs happened to be in the office, which was absurd to me because that never happens. Like, you almost can't find them half the time because they're all over the place. And I walked in, they're all in there, and one of them goes, "Hey, I heard a rumor that you put in your 2 weeks." And I'm like, "Oh yeah," and they, like, all wished me luck, but even they didn't know that was my last day. And so I'm trying not to get emotional because I'm leaving and I'm not coming back, and they don't even know. And like, my friends that I worked with that I became very close with, I let them all know. And so when my hour, my lead goes, the day before my last day, he goes, "So you're doing 12 hours tomorrow?" And I told him, I was like, "No, I know what you guys are doing." Because they would turn the clock back and try to convince me that it was a different time so that I would stay longer because they could get the most production out of me. So they're like, "No, you still got 2 more hours." I'm like, "No, it's time to go, guys."
Wow.
So like, I mean, they would joke about it. They weren't trying to like, but they would have these ways of convincing me to stay longer, and so they'd always twist my arm. So then when that last day he was like, "Hey, you're gonna do 12 hours tomorrow," I was like, "Seriously? We're doing this again?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm just going to say yes this time." Because I usually tell them no, but then they convince me otherwise. But I was like, I'm going to say yes this time because I know what's going to happen. I know that I'm going to come in tomorrow, and then by the time my shift is almost up, you guys are going to convince me that you're going to miss me and that I need to stay and guilt trip me. So then I'm going to stay. And so, because of all of this intergender wrestling that is not successful and will never work, I had to quit my great job with great people in California to move to Cleveland, Ohio with my amazing boyfriend. If it wasn't for him, I don't know that I would have chosen Ohio. But so far, so good.
Yeah. I think that's a great story. I think that's a good reason to move as well.
Intergender wrestling's just doing bad things for my life.
It is doing bad things. It's bad for the world. It's terrible. It makes nobody happy. Nobody smiles.
It's not marketable.
It doesn't inspire anybody to do great things.
I wasn't told today by a man that he was inspired by me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't do anything for gender equality. It doesn't prove any point. It's pointless.
It is
what it is.
Shenanigans, really.
Oh my
About as believable as whipping somebody off the ropes. Let me tell you.
Sometimes people are wrong, and it's okay.
Just blatantly, like, sometimes people are wrong.
And it's okay to admit that you're wrong. It's okay, but you know what's really great? Proving people wrong.
Yeah. I prefer... Okay, I'm one of those sports fans. I'm competitive, but, like, what ends up happening is, like, people will talk shit, and I'm like, that's fine. Talk shit. Because I'm a hockey fan. Ducks all the way. And during the Stanley Cup playoffs that the Ducks won, they were playing Vancouver, and there was Vancouver scored, and they had to go into overtime. So then we all go into the bathroom while they all go back and get ready to play this overtime period. And there's a line of us in Ducks jerseys, and this Vancouver chick comes out of the stall. She's like, "How'd you guys like that?" And she's talking all this shit, and I'm just, every single one of us, nobody said a thing. We just stood there. Not because we were embarrassed, but I was feeling pretty confident. I'm like, this is the Ducks season, man. Yeah, you can talk all you want, but you guys are going to lose so hard. So hard. And they did. And the Ducks went on to win the Stanley Cup.
Oh, my.
And I was there, and it was great.
She was there, and it was great.
I just want to brag about being there.
Yeah, go ahead. It's Diaries. Diaries. You can brag about anything you want.
I love being there.
Before we close out your interview, I do want to just shortly touch on TNA, because we gotta talk a little bit, just a little bit. We don't talk about it for a long time, but I know that they were very, very interested in bringing you on board at one point. And the reason I know this is because I was at OVW at the time, and anytime TNA was interested, well, at the time they were the developmental for it. Yeah. So anytime they were interested in a girl, I heard that in my ear. They're like, they're interested in Candice LeRae, and they're going to bring up Candice LeRae. You know that there's a lot of jealousy, and people talk amongst themselves about who deserves what, and you know, and like, why is she getting an opportunity? Like, because she's been around forever and she's worked hard for it. That's why. What was your experience like?
It was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Christy Hemme contacted me, and she seemed super enthusiastic. Like, one of the most enthusiastic people I've ever talked to in wrestling.
She's high energy.
Ever.
Yeah.
And she was, like, all about it, because she wanted the women's division to just be, like, so, like, about the women and the wrestling, and, like, she even told me, she's like, it's not going to be about looks. We want it to be about the wrestling. And I think it was shortly after Gail, and I can't remember who she wrestled, and I feel really badly, but they got the two of them got a lot of publicity off of the match recently. And
Terrence Rowe.
yes, and they got a lot of publicity, and I'm going, well, this is good for women in wrestling, you know. And so they wanted to make it about the wrestling. So they said. And I get to OVW for a tryout. It was my first little. They're like, it was a long process for me. So I get there, because at first, originally, Al Snow, Joey was talking to Al Snow about me, and he was like, send me some pictures, and he was like, well, you know, like, I hate to say it, like, you know, but they're gonna want her to look a certain way. They want her to look like a star. So tell her to do this, do that, get really dolled up, take pictures like this, like that, and he's like, and, you know, send them in. I did it in like the next day I was on it, and I think within a week he had new pictures of me, and they were completely different, and he was like, yeah, that's exactly what I needed from her. So they had these pictures, and so I was there, they were aware of me, and so when they started to look for women, I was already, like, on the table. And I kept up trying to, like, stay in touch, and so when Christy called me, it was like, oh, cool. And then, so I go to OVW, and they have 3 of us there, and I'm going, oh no, because, like, Santana walks in, and she's, like, gorgeous and super talented, so I'm, like, threatened already. I was like, oh, man. But then, like, they had different ideas for her and me and Marty Bell, and so we all do tryout matches. And then, like, after that, we all heard different things, but the 3 of us kind of stayed in touch with each other, and we were very supportive of each other, which was good. You know, to be, like, if I could have been in there with anybody else, I don't know how it would have gone, but the 2 of them were great, and we were all very supportive and keeping up with each other and, like, wanting the best for each other. Yeah. Even if, like, it was all, for me and Marty, we're like, even if we don't get signed, if Santana does, then at least there's that, you know, like, 'cause she's great. Yeah. And so, didn't hear anything for a while, then all of a sudden it was like, hey, so we're going to be in San Diego, bring a girl or, you know, recommend a girl, and we'll have you guys do a match before, like, the pay-per-view, like a tryout. And we're like, okay. And so, I recommended Veda Scott to them, and so, you know, like, she and I are both there, and we do our tryout match in front of, like, nobody, so it's super awkward and uncomfortable. And they had her as a babyface and me as a heel, which is very opposite for both of us.
Very opposite.
But I did everything that they critiqued me at the first one. Every time they gave me something, I changed it, and I was different, like, the next time. Mind you, I did borrow, like, Gail brought gear for me to wear, because she was like, I think that I have some stuff that'll look really good on you, and so, like, she was super awesome and supportive and wanted me to do well. And then, you know, like, we got good feedback from everybody. AJ Styles came, and he was like, even though I didn't even think he watched the match, and he was like, oh yeah, like, you just gotta do this, do that, and so everybody was, you know, nice about it. And then didn't hear anything for a while, and then all of a sudden, hey, we're gonna give you a match with Gail. And I'm like, great, you know, because Gail was really pushing for me. And every time they put me in situations, it's like they wanted to see me go, but then they never put me in a situation to, like, actually see me go. Yeah. So we get there, and they go, you have 2 minutes. And Gail was, like, upset, like, very upset, because she wanted to show them what I could do, because we'd worked together once before, and we had fun enough for her to remember me and call me and, like, say, okay, I need you to do this and this and this, and be prepared. So I lucked out that she was so supportive of me, and, like, they kept cutting my match, and so it got to the point where it was going to be seconds. And Gail, I saw her, like, off in the distance, like, just screaming somebody, like to hell, because she was, I've never seen her upset, but she was very upset that they just kept cutting my match. And it got to the point where, next thing we knew, they were like, you've got 2 minutes. And we had plan A, plan B. She was getting ready to go out the curtain, and they're like, you got 2 minutes. But even then, it was like, there was a little miscommunication at one point in the match, because we were just, like, under we were trying to keep it to that 2 minutes, and I think it stressed us out a lot. And so there was like a slight miscue, but nothing horrible. And like she's such an awesome person to work with, just in general. And like even 2 minutes, and she made sure that I looked as good as possible. And it was like I was super lucky. Got great criticism after, you know, like everybody had, you know, positive feedback. Just like it seemed great, and then I never heard anything again. And so I was like 3 tries, and everybody was asking me after. They're going, "Oh, did you get anything out of it? Are you gonna do that knockout pay-per-view?" I was like, "No, but you know what? I think I made it great. Like I think I lucked out in that it was at the time when Joey and I were taking off at PWG, and I don't know that I would have been able to do it had I been working for TNA. So it was a blessing in disguise, really, is what it was."
Yeah. I think the right choice was made for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be the face of any company, you want to be the face of the company that you truly love.
Yeah.
You know. And you're home.
Very passionate about it.
Very passionate.
Yeah.
About it. Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
I would say those airport runs paid off pretty well for you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're coming to an end, and I just want to ask you: is there anything that you would want your fans to know about you, or would you like? Is there anything that you'd like to tell them?
Don't take no for an answer, and I don't know that any words I could say could ever describe, because I don't even know how to say this. Because of the fans, I have what I have, and I am what I am, and I do what I do. And without fans, and without their support, and without them, if every time I went out to the ring at PWG, if they didn't care, I wouldn't have what I have. I'd be fired still. And the fact that they've been so supportive and so passionate, and every time I have somebody come up to me, so if you do want to come up to me and tell me anything, like as far as being inspiring or just like anything positive or anything negative you want, but every time somebody comes up to me and tells me that I'm inspirational to them, it blows my mind. Because I was just some 6-year-old little girl who wanted to be Macho Man Randy Savage when she grew up, and as ridiculous as that sounds, it's like every time somebody comes up to me, I'm like, I'm Macho Man Randy Savage right now. Oh. And it's the coolest thing ever. Oh, it's crazy. It's a crazy life I live.
I know. We love it.
We do.
That's why we do it. Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much. Like, really thank you, because
I'm scared that I wasn't going to have anything to talk about.
We can go another hour if you want. We can keep going.
We'll see how this does.
Yeah.
We'll see how this does, and if they love it and want more of it, I've got so much more.
Part 2.
The sequel.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody at home for joining us and tuning in, and I guess we'll see you really soon.
I hope so.
I have been looking forward to this one. Once I found out that these two teams were taking each other on, I was very excited here. Very familiar with all 4 of these athletes.
Can you sing to me? This is one of my favorite songs.
You know what? I was
Come on.
from
3,
a small town.
2, 1, let me have it.
I was born in a small town. And the fans of WrestleCon, here we go, the Man Scout, Jake Manning, Sojo Bull. These two here, no strangers to WrestleCon. Jake Manning turning on the freight train last year.
Now, do you think Jake Manning has Sojo Bolt with him so that no one misinterprets what a Man Scout may or may not be?
I think that is definitely the ultimate way to prove your point, what a Man Scout really is.
Now, you got to love Jake Manning, man. There's nothing wrong with just some good, old-fashioned, clean, folksy living. And what else do you think when you look at Jake Manning and Sojo Bolt?
That is just a real folksy couple right there.
Oh, Sojo has a little, what is that, a koala bear
It's
on
a little
it? Oh,
backpack.
hi, that's not a koala bear. That's something else.
That's not a koala bear at all.
I mean, it can be. I'll feed it a eucalyptus leaf if you want.
Now, Jake Manning, a guy who was very upset in the past that he wasn't getting on these big super shows last year, turned on the freight train. Here he is, so I guess...
How do you turn on the freight train?
You don't have a heart.
What
First
was
you have
freight train
first you have
say?
your heart removed.
Why do you turn on, baby?
First you have your heart removed, and then you turn on him.
Did Jake Manning throw his chest hair at people? Speaking of chest hair.
Best segue ever. Now, Mr. Stryker, here is a mixed tag team that is sort of redefining how good a mixed tag team can be.
Yeah, it's bringing fun back to wrestling. It's bringing just what this business is all about. And right there, the part of Joey Ryan tonight will be played by Ben Stiller. This is just one of the most engaging and infectious talents that I've seen. It's just something about Joey Ryan that you immediately either love him or hate him. And I'll let you do the whole Candice LeRae talk.
Just a big fan right there. That's all you got to know. Huge fan of her. When you talk about Candy, you're talking about a lady who can hang with the fellas, and that is quite.
I know some girls like that in the Bronx.
Then hey, I mean I've seen tons of their matches in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and every time I see them, I'm blown away.
Yeah, this has the makings of some good old-fashioned entertainment. Now, the rules here are obviously it has to be man-on-man, woman-on... Ooh, what's...
I'm going to say quite
Jake's
possibly
doing things.
That's not the case.
All right, so what is it? Only the guys have to fight the guys and the girls have to fight
every person for themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I wouldn't be shocked to see Candice get in there with the Man Scout or Sojo in there with Joey Ryan. I got to be honest, that's the least oiled up I think I've ever seen Joey Ryan.
Now, I used to have chest hair and stomach hair too, and there's a myriad of problems that come with stomach hair.
Jake Manning answering that. What are some of the problems that you have with chest hair?
Huh?
What are some of the problems you have as a professional wrestler with chest hair?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't you say there were problems with having chest hair as a wrestler?
This is the problem of having stomach hair.
Stomach hair?
Yeah.
Oh, not chest hair?
No.
What are some stomach hair problems? Some issues you run into? I'd love to know.
I want to know what's happening in the minds of all the listeners right now as they begin to realize what I'm talking about.
I want to know.
Things stick to it, Martin.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about wrestling, just in general. You're talking about some afternoon leisure activities.
Leisure.
And here we go right now. Now, you, a lifelong wrestling fan, you have to love a guy like Joey Ryan, who, like you said, in any generation, this is a guy who comes out of that locker room and the fans, like you said, instantly love him or instantly hate him.
Yep, and it's the little things that Joey is wearing matching gear with Candice.
That's how you know. I remember as a child thinking, well, they're wearing matching outfits. They're a great tag team. This is how you see who's a great couple, matching outfits.
So I should start wearing yoga pants and my hoodies?
There you go. There you go. You got some juicy sweatpants at home you can wear? You got to love this right here. I believe highspots.com has a special for his and her gear. Get it at highspots.com.
I like the in-stock gear.
In-stock
the stuff
gear.
you don't have to wait for. That's awesome.
You know, every once in a while, you got to get some trunks on the go. And right now, Candice is ready to make her way into the ring to do battle with Sojo.
All right, here we go. And now for something completely different.
Couldn't let us have this matchup here.
What body part would you say Jake represents, looks like, resembles the most?
What body part?
Yeah, like what part of the human anatomy would you say Jake Manning resembles?
You know, if I had to put my finger on it, I would probably say that Jake Manning represents the elbow, I guess.
I think he looks like an elbow? I think he looks like a different part of the human anatomy.
I think he might look like a certain part of the human anatomy right below chest hair and stomach hair.
Yeah, the middle toe.
Also, I
toe.
can't help but look at Jake Manning and think of the old G.I. Joe Gung Ho.
Of course.
That is.
He had a darker mustache.
He did have a darker mustache, but I just every time I look at that Jake Manning, I think of Gung Ho.
Marty, I love you.
I love you too.
I love you.
And I love that huge Hurricane Rana off the top rope. Tagging in Joey Ryan. Jake's going to have a nice little surprise when he wakes up.
Frankensteiner.
Bang. Shades of Terry Funk with a ladder.
Oh,
A much
nice.
hotter ladder.
Yes, with less rungs. I only want to climb 2 of your rungs.
And now Sojo.
Oh, I told you. She wants to get some
She
shit stuck
most
up in that
definitely
hand.
wants to see what's going on there.
Oh, how you doing?
As a man with chest hair, that is the last thing you want a lady to do.
Kind of turns me on. But it allows Jake Manning to take over.
Are we entering chest hair pulling on our search engines? On our favorite websites?
Shut up, Marty.
Right now, Jake Manning going to the attack, sending Joey Ryan into the corner with authority.
I almost feel like if Jake Manning wanted to, he could easily transition into a Soviet wrestler, just with his garb.
You know what?
He's skinny Borisukov. You know, if you put Soldat Ustinov in the clothes dryer, this is what you'd get.
The runt of the Koloff litter.
Yes, Billy Koloff, who's raised in Parsippany.
Little Nikki Koloff.
They have mustache pulls. Ow, Mike Posey. The girls should do the same kind of spot.
Oh, I really wish they did. Let's hope that's not possible.
Oh, not everything is, but sometimes you gotta close your eyes, buddy. Are you having fun?
I'm having a blast.
Yeah, me too, man.
This is like Christmas for me. Joey Ryan, beautiful toss there.
And that's called a pump handle.
Beautiful name for a maneuver. Candice ready to come right back in that ring. She wants to get her hands on Jake Manning.
Because of what he looks like.
And here we go. Sojo and Candice in the ring.
Hey! Sojo definitely has the power advantage here.
Absolutely power advantage here. But that's not going to stop
Hey!
Candice. Swinging neck breaker.
The masked Candice. Come on, Jake.
A little bit of a dick move there, I got to be
Come on.
honest with you.
That's
And
a t-shirt. A little bit of a dick
Little
move.
bit of a dick move. Available at barbershop window. Okay.
Oh, that's kind of hot, but crazy.
Extra points for the combo by Jake Manning.
What?
Kicking
Wow,
out.
what does that say about Jake Manning's offense?
There you go, Jake. He is in there with one of the toughest, not just women in professional wrestling, one of the toughest wrestlers in the game today. Pound for pound, one of the absolute toughest.
Hey,
Beautiful maneuver right
there.
there.
You go. Kolinoki, Kolmalenko, Candice. LeRae.
And Sojo
Wow, that was cool.
sending. Wait for it. Boom.
Oh, ho, 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 Green Giant.
That is not how Jake Manning wanted to spend his Saturday night here in New Orleans. Candice falling into the corner, making the tag to Joey Ryan. Manning and Ryan meet in the middle of the ring, and Jake is taking some massive blows here by Joey. Jake stops him with a boot. Sleazy spine buster by Joey Ryan.
Is that really what he calls it?
I hope so.
Yes, yes.
Once again.
Yeah,
There you
buddy.
go.
Yeah. I want to be booked against her next time. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I love you,
Bootplex.
Joey. I love you.
I think we're going to get a bootplex.
Now
And
you
we
know they're
do.
real.
Double hand bootplex.
I love it. A National Geographic double D bomb.
Somewhere at home, Scott Snyder approves.
Oh, Kobashi
But then-
DDT.
Kicking out this crowd up to their feet with that beautiful
Oh my God!
maneuver.
I can't wait to practice that move at wrestling.
You're going to steal
School.
that one too?
Oh yeah.
Ladies, I've got a maneuver to teach you.
No, that's great. That set a precedent
Now,
and let
here
that
we
be
go.
okay.
Jake Manning with the ceremonial lowering of the straps.
And Jake has chest hair too.
He most certainly does.
No!
And I think we're
No
going to
way!
get
No way!
crotchplex.
Oh, gonad bomb! Gonad bomb! We have to do it like very Japanese. Oh,
Super kick by Joey.
that's
There
awesome.
we go.
That's awesome.
Joey and Candice celebrating a victory here in New Orleans. The couple that fights together stays together.
Tell that to my ex-girlfriend.
We saw some very innovative offense in that match. Boot plexes, crotch plexes, chest hair being grabbed.
Now we have to start to give these actual names, you know? Memory driver, you know, things of this nature.
I would just love the idea of Gordon Sully somewhere in heaven looking down at this going, very interesting souffle.
A little bummed there. He got the A-cup suplex. Not what we were expecting.
Joey and Candice. Uh-oh. We got beads in the ring.
Yes,
we
she's
are in
asking
New
if she should
Orleans.
flash. She's asking.
We are in New Orleans. I'm going to have to stand up for this one, too.
Hang on. I love boobs. Just do it. It's wrestling. You already grabbed someone's boobs. Just do it, Candice. Yeah, no, just do it. It worked for DX. Is she going to do it? Come on, just do it. Yeah. Yeah. I sound like such a creep that I don't care.
Listen.
I want you people to know that we're around a table. Marty is completely all the way around the table.
If I could jump on this
And
table, I would.
He's on his knees on a chair trying to get a better view because all the fans are standing.
And instead, we're going to settle for old Harry
what
Tits.
Marty wanted to
Oh,
see.
that is
Old Harry Tits, you know her.
Old
She's
Harry
from
Tits.
Milwaukee. I
Yeah.
love her. Good old Harry.
Good old Harry Tits. I'm sure every time you rolled in on 94, you'd
Sure.
call old Harry Tits.
Right through Fond du Lac,
Yeah.
man. Just bring up Harry Tits.
Guess who's in town? Matt Striker. Joey Ryan having a whole lot of fun in the ring. Absolutely.
Why are we still standing?
I guess nothing's going to happen right now.
Oh, wow. We're all having a good time here at WrestleCon. Of course, it's WrestleMania weekend, and it doesn't just have to
And
be...
right now, it is an
Yay!
ECW-like
Someone throw a chair and
of
change
the-
everything.
No, don't encourage them.
They can't hear me, Marty.
Oh, that's
At
true.
home, maybe they will. That's awesome. What a moment. That's great.
Right now, the prom king and queen of WrestleCon has apparently been crowned.
And it goes to show
Joey
you, man,
Ryan and Candice LeRae.
it doesn't have to be one particular promotion. It's just support the actual idea of wrestling. And it's because of things like this happen spontaneously, and people have a good time, and memories are made. And shut up, Matt.
Man, let's just watch Candice LeRae bend over and pick up beads.
You call her Lash LaRue?
Candice